Debbie, how have you been?
Oh my gosh, I've been good. It's so good to see you.
I
Actually see
know.
you. It's great. No, things have been
Exactly.
going really well. How about
Good.
you?
Yes, not bad at all. Been doing lots of work on Teams lately, and so that's been
Mm,
really fascinating. And just getting some teams to follow all those 5 elements of a high performance team.
hmm
I don't know if you've been following the series on YouTube and on the LinkedIn page.
Oh, the Once Upon a Team.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. They've been so great. And there's so many things that I can relate to Alex as a new manager. Um, I could tell you the one that has really stuck with me so
Mhm,
far
mhm,
is the third episode on purpose,
mhm,
team purpose.
mhm.
Especially at the end of the video where on the screen it flashes, how would you and your team answer the question, we exist for?
Huh?
It was so triggering for me.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, probably many years ago, I was part of a leadership team.
Mhm.
And in thinking about how any of us would have answered the question, probably would not have gotten two answers the same.
Okay.
It was a great company. It's a great company, very brilliant people.
Mm,
Um, but I quickly saw that there was dysfunction in the leadership team.
mm,
Um, and really it was interesting. We had a lot of the telltale signs of a team that weren't aligned on why we existed, what our why was, what our purpose was, what do we stand for. Some of the things that really stood out was um, we had conflicting priorities amongst us.
that makes
I,
sense.
I can tell you, I was a young manager then. I think I have some of my own motivations were personal
Mhm.
versus what we're doing for the business.
Ah.
Um, yeah, we yeah we um, we were missing deadlines
Oh,
often.
yeah.
We would revisit our product roadmap way too frequently.
Yeah, because there was no purpose that everyone agreed to, so everyone was off on their own story.
hmm Yeah,
Mm.
so it was left up to interpretation. Yeah, and then the drama. So we had a lot of people going off and behind closed doors and talking about one another. Or you would see glances or eye rolls, in discussions. And so that was not very healthy.
Mm.
And then the communication. You would think that with that we would not be communicating very well. The problem was we were communicating all the time. So we
Yeah.
had meetings upon meetings about rehashing some of the same topics and really not moving forward or getting anywhere. Um, and so, I realized later that we as a team, we were just missing kind of our collective why
Yeah.
and what we're doing and what are we pursuing and having that guide us rather than who could talk the loudest that day.
Yeah. It's like it's not only just the collective purpose of the team, why the team exists, but also each person's role in that
Mhm.
is not clearly defined. And so everyone's efforts is not going towards something that's a common purpose to move everything forward. Everyone's kind of off on their own story.
Right.
Yeah.
And the purpose is not just a statement of what we do,
Mm.
but it's what are
Mm.
we aspiring to be or to change that is inspirational, that we all truly believe in and that are energized by, and then it guides our decisions.
Yeah, for sure. So
Yeah.
if you look back now and you could do it all over again, what would you change?
Ooh, that's a good question. Well, definitely, I think I would be a little more courageous
Mm-hmm.
and call it out within the team and say, here's what we're lacking. Here's why we're not achieving what we could and should be doing.
Mm.
We need to come up with a common purpose. And for us to actually do the exercise
Mm-hmm.
of establishing our purpose,
Mm.
um, testing it to make sure that it makes sense for us and what we do,
Mm.
making sure that we all feel it and truly
Ah,
believed it.
that's an interesting
And
point.
yeah, and then also not have it be a one and done. It's something you constantly revisit and use that to guide your decisions. And What do we do? What do we say no to?
Mm.
Where do we put resources? What's most critical? How does that relate to our priorities? So those are some of the things that's actually what I do with my team today. I'm very conscious of not repeating that, and how important having that common purpose as your foundation. So with my team, we've established it.
Okay.
We revisit it in groups, in one-on-ones.
Okay.
We know why we exist. It allows us to challenge one another.
Nice.
To say, are we sure that that's in keeping with what we want to do and what we want to achieve? Is this distracting us? Because we don't want to get distracted from what we're trying to accomplish. And I think as a team, because we have this foundation, we're more authentic with one another. We're more capable. We're achieving more. And we are truly able to thrive in the midst of change and disruption, whether it's changes in the team, the changes within the company, or in our market. We're a lot more resilient and trusting. And so it's incredibly important. So that's definitely one area that I keep top of mind all the time.
And I'm also sure that during these times of sort of change, where people have to be resilient, and I know you have to keep on adapting all the time, if that purpose is well articulated and everyone is bought into it and everyone is emotionally connected to it, it does also help people manage the stress of these kinds of changes, right?
Good point. Yeah, absolutely. And it's when these challenges come up, we're able to look at these as opportunities instead of chaos or, something that's a burden. It's, well, this is exciting. What's on the other side of this for us? Let's find out. Yeah.
That's really interesting, and I'm fascinated that you've managed to take the lesson from years and years ago, where you saw how it can go badly if that's not in play. Because I think sometimes people forget about purpose, or they think it's something too nebulous and not really that important, or they don't spend quite as much time trying to get around it as a team. And so it's really great that you've had the contrast and examples where it wasn't. And now you've built it in and baked it in to make sure it's there, because you could see for yourself the impact that it had on the business and on the team.
No, yeah, absolutely. And you appreciate it, and the team appreciates it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's such an interesting story. Thank you for sharing that. I'm really happy to hear that with your team now, things are going differently, and that purpose is central to them as a functioning and a high functioning team, or a high performance team. And hopefully that also will, interesting, I think it will also affect the other things. It will help things like the pairing, which you mentioned, like people talking behind each other's back. A lot of that will probably be mitigated if there's a strong purpose in play.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Very good. Well,
good.
Fantastic. It was nice to catch up with you, and I hope you're going to have great success with your team going forward.
Oh, thank you, Hanley. We'll talk soon.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.